I'm Tristan Rayner. I am here today to let you know that we are in the final session of our event. It is the Startup Pitch Session, and we are about to feature wonderful solar and renewable energy startups in a lightning round. 5 minutes of pitch, 5 minutes of questions from an expert panel I have next to me, and then on to the next startup. So we have 4 exciting startups from the industry taking the stage, and our companies, Versiro, Glint Solar, NOMAD Solar, and Suena, will each pitch today and answer questions. After that, you, the audience, will vote to decide which startup gave the best pitch and deserves the title of the day's standout. Now, let me quickly introduce our expert panel here today who are in the studio with me. First up, we have Emiliano Bellini. Emiliano, you are PV Magazine's online news director. You have an incredible breadth of knowledge and deal with our industry in real time. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for staying around all day. You were in our first session, so you've done well to last. And we also welcome Matthias Engel, managing partner at Vireo Ventures. Matthias, you and your team are investing in early stage startups in electrification and renewable energy, and your presence here today is very much appreciated.
Great for having me. Thank you.
Awesome. So we are about to get into things. That was the housekeeping. But what you need to do out there is watch the pitches closely and cast your vote at the end. So the criteria we'll ask you to consider for each pitch will be business potential, impact or potential impact, and the third criteria would be performance during the pitch and the questions from our experts. And the winning startup will receive an extended interview with PV Magazine, which will be featured in print. So that's a great opportunity for them. And of course, everyone presenting today wins by getting to share their vision with you all. So with that housekeeping out of the way, let's dive in and get started with a big welcome to Simon Risanger, the CEO and co-founder of Versiro. Versiro helps users make better and faster decisions in the European electricity market with a decision support platform. So big welcome to Simon. Take it away.
Thank you so much. I can't see my slides yet. Will they appear?
Just checking on that. Yes.
Thank you so much. Hey everyone, my name is Simon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Versiro. So Versiro is based on me and my co-founder Marcus's research at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And basically we were researching how can we integrate more renewables into the power system. And of course there were 2 main challenges that appeared time and time again when we were doing our research. Basically, that we get a lot of uncertain production, right? You don't know when and how much you're going to produce, right? This introduces a lot of uncertainty, which makes it difficult to operate. And of course, this also makes the supply side quite uncertain, and this creates volatile prices. And especially in the last couple of years, we have seen a huge surge in the volatility in electricity prices. And this, of course, creates a lot of challenges, not only for operation, but also things like investments. So this is also something that we try to see that is becoming quite apparent. So this is an example from an actual day in the Norwegian power markets where I'm based, right? So historically, a lot of energy has been bought and sold on what's called a day-ahead market. Basically, the day before, you will buy and sell everything that you plan to do the next day. And this has worked well when it was mainly flexible assets in the system, right? Coal, gas, nuclear or hydropower, right? Because you knew when and how much you're going to produce. But as you get more and more renewables, like solar, like wind, and so forth, you get a lot of forecast into this. And of course, the forecast will have some kind of forecast error that you need to correct. One way to correct them is what's called an intraday market, which is basically buy and selling all the way up to close to delivery. This is what we see on the right-hand side. So this day that looks extremely calm in the day-ahead market is actually quite volatile on the intraday market, right? And this is in Norway where we have a lot of flexible hydropower, right? So the question then is, whatever is flexible in the system, be it flexible assets or hydropower or storage system, right? How can they maximize the value of their flexibility? When do they know when to be available, right? And the second one, if you are inflexible, you will have forecast error. You will have a difference between what you said and what you're actually producing. What's the cheapest way to get rid of this imbalance, right? So, of course, it's very easy to look at these graphs and see like when you should and when you shouldn't. But in reality, it's quite complex, right? Because you have a lot of different markets, a lot of different functionalities, a lot of different timings, and a lot of different counterparties. And of course, because it's only one commodity, if you go into one market, you kind of exclude the other ones. So how do you know when and which market and what price that you should do this, right? And of course, you will always get updated information, so you need to redo this decision all of the time, all the way up into delivery. So this becomes quickly quite complex, right? And this is what we try to solve as researchers. How can we give some kind of scientific basis on how power producers make these decisions right now, right? So basically, kind of what we saw is, there's a lot of uncertainty, and if we know kind of what's the uncertainty, and if we can quantify the uncertainty in all of these different markets, perhaps we can do some way to, optimize how we actually make these decisions. So what we try to do is, for all of these different markets, we want to quantify the uncertainty. If we can quantify the uncertainty, we can calculate the risk. And of course, then we just need to feed a lot of different data that actually helps us to quantify that uncertainty. If we're able to quantify the risk, we can make risk-reward optimal exposure for any given portfolio of assets, right? That's exactly what we do in step number 2, where we take in customer information or whatever their portfolio is. What are their risk preferences, right? If they're solar with an imbalance, they may be likely to, be very, they want to be sure that they close the imbalance, right? More than a flexible battery, for instance. So we can do this, combine information about the market and information about the asset to give basically in real time a risk-adjusted optimal strategy on how they should position themselves and expose themselves to the market. So it's easy to use and it creates value fast, right? It goes directly onto the trading. All of the heavy lifting with the computation is done on our side. So we can plug and play either through a graphical user interface or an API. We're less than 3 years in, and we have several of the largest Norwegian power producers as users. We just launched in Germany, Sweden, and Denmark, and activity is picking up there. So really exciting times ahead for us. So why is this important? Well, basically because we have a lot of renewable targets, right? And the more renewables we get in, the more uncertainty we get in, and of course, the more problematic these things become. So you need to know how do we deal and plan with all of this uncertainty in the best possible way. The team is very technically sophisticated, but me and my co-founder has PhD on this topic. And we also have industry experts in the board and as investors and advisors helping us from doing similar things at the C-level at E.ON and Statkraft, in addition to other startup founders with experience in energy tech and different other sides of scaling. So with that, I thank you for your attention and happy to take any questions and connect.
Thank you, Simon. So we will have our Q&A now. So Emiliano, let's start with you. Any questions for Simon?
Yes. Today, Simon, we spoke a lot about negative prices. Of course, I saw negative prices mentioned in your slide. Of course, everybody is scared about this increase in negative prices. And can you maybe just tell us with which degree of certainty this tool can help asset owners to avoid negative prices? Could they be avoided completely?
That's a very good question. So at the end of the day, like negative prices come from the, there's an oversupply, right? And you need to get rid of that oversupply. So we cannot directly, cancel out the oversupply. But what we can help is for the power producers that are flexible to make sure that they don't sit with the production plan that says that they're going to produce when they shouldn't, right? But again, that depends on if the assets is indeed flexible enough to change it, right? But for a lot of, like I'm in Norway, and then if you make a production plan the day before and you're actually able to be flexible and change that, that's something you should do, right? And then you need to know, okay, how do I do that in the best possible way?
And Simon, I'm always also interested in how you guys earn money, obviously, but also how your clients are profiting. So can you elaborate a bit on what's maybe the additional profit your clients can take using your software, but also how do you make money?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the day, it's the business case is different if you're flexible or if you're inflexible. So for the inflexible one, it is, how can we reduce the costs of being in imbalance, right? Which means how do we make sure that we position ourselves in the correct market, which is better than the alternative markets, right? So it goes back to the alternative costs. The second one for the flexible ones is, how can you increase the value from your flexibility? How do you know that you're actually available when it's most needed? And of course, we can do benchmarking, we can test this, right? We're still early in terms of business model and how we do this. So right now it's kind of a case by case where we kind of make a case study and we do some verification periods where we can actually measure the benefit that we create, and based on that we agree on terms of how to price it.
Okay, and in terms of clients, can you explain maybe a bit more in detail who actually is your clients? I understand obviously they are asset owners operating renewable energy assets, but is it like large scale, mid scale? And I'm thinking about the utility groups. Most of the utility groups have very large trading organizations. So do you think you will compete with them, or what's the plan ahead of that?
Oh, so absolutely. So not necessarily compete, but empower and help them, right? So we're working with several of the largest one in Norway and hence the Nordics. So we are active on flexible hydropower, on wind power, and run of river, which is too flexible. And what we try here is, even though they have trading stuff, right, we help them with additional data points, right? At the end of the day, it's a physical asset, right? So you have a direct connection between what you actually produce and the physics of the assets and the markets, right? So we help them understand that connection better. And then they have, of course, have domain knowledge that is super important and they can use. And for us, it becomes an additional data points that they can help with. And
sorry, Matthias asked a question about the size, of course, and but could CNI also be interesting for some CNI systems could also operate to the platform?
Absolutely. So kind of the prerequisite to use us is that you're big enough to be active in these markets that we cover, right? Which usually means a sufficient size. And the second one is, of course, that you have some kind of trading activity, right? So you're not buying energy from a reseller, but you're actively participating in energy markets yourself. If those two, then kind of the problem is the same. I guess you have flexibility to provide, or you have inflexibility that you need to correct.
Perfect. Gentlemen, we'll leave that there. So Simon, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Panel's asked you some good questions. You've handled it well. So thank you so much, and we appreciate it, your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We are moving on to welcome Harald Olderheim. He is the CEO of Glint Solar. Glint Solar helps solar developers shorten the time it takes to plan and pre-design solar installations. Hello, Harald, and take it away. Oh, I don't see you.
Hello.
There he is. Go for it, Harald.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, I'm Harald. I'm the CEO of Glint Solar and one of the founders. And our goal is to create products that empower solar energy developers all around the world. And we believe that today in the world we have the technology and the solutions to solve the climate crisis, but that we are just moving too slow. Today it takes about 2 to 5 years to get a solar park ready to build. And it takes such a long time, because it's challenging to be a solar developer. You need to find land and make agreements with landowners and get acceptance from neighbors and others. You need to access the grid so you can sell all the energy that you are producing. And you need a permit from the municipality or others before you can start building. In addition, you need to make sure that the solar park is a good business case. And due to these challenges, about 73% of the time in solar development companies are spent on projects that are not going to permit application. And that is why we created Glint Solar. It's to solve these challenges and to make all these processes much more efficient. So, welcome to the future of digitized solar development. Our customers, they tell us that by using the Glint Solar tool, they're able to triple the number of projects in their project pipeline that are ready to build. Our customer also tell us that they can design much faster and get a significantly high number of land agreements signed. But don't take it from us. Denise at Chint, he tells us that they are saving more than 2,000 hours a year by using the Glint Solar tool. And he also says that their pipeline of project has increased by 5 times after 1 year of using the software. And our product is helping solar developers in 3 ways. Firstly, you can make a quick preliminary design. You can use minutes instead of hours, and you will have a design of a project. And this includes the solar panel type, inverter, equipment you select, and you will also get a detailed energy production report. And with a good 3D rendering of the project, you will also be able to communicate very efficiently with all relevant stakeholders, like the landowners, the neighbors, the municipalities, and others. Secondly, by using the tool, you will have powerful prospecting tools with hundreds of data layers available, like, for instance, like the grid data, parcel borders, protected areas, detailed topography, and much more. And lastly, you will also be able to organize all your projects and collaborate in real time with your entire team. So now everyone in your team will have a good overview of the status of all the projects and who are working on what projects. Today we have customers using the tool in more than 35 countries. It's mainly in Europe today, but also usage outside in some places. And yeah, this is my last slide, and it shows my great team. We are about 30 people today, with 12 nationalities. You can keep the slide up there a little bit more. There. With 12 nationalities, and we are located in Oslo, Norway, in Norway as well as the last company. We were established in 2020, and we are growing fast with more and more happy customers. We are working very closely with our users to understand their challenges in their daily work, and we are continuously improving the product together with our users. And at the bottom of these slides, you can also see my contact details. So if you want to learn more about Glint Solar, or if you want to test the product, you can contact me.
Harald, thank you so much. That was great. A good-looking team as well. Now let's hand over to our expert panel, and we will turn to Matthias first. Questions for Harald?
Of course, Harald, thank you so much. A great pitch. I was wondering, because we saw, obviously, you explained that there's a much higher throughput in terms of the pipeline, but also some savings in terms of how quick you can actually manage projects. Is there any number you can give us in terms of what the cost savings will be for clients using the platform?
It's more like, instead of only saving cost, it's more like you are able to increase revenue. Because if you look at the solar development companies, it's mainly where they make money is often creating more projects in a more efficient way. So with the same team, you can develop 3 times as many projects, and that means you can triple your revenue with the same team.
Okay, and then staying with your clients, I was wondering, to what extent will the use of the software require some customization? So is it really plug and play, or will it require entering some assumptions, maybe some specifics on the hardware that's planned to be used? And I would assume that every client has own assumptions here and specifications. So how long does it actually take to onboard clients and customers, and how much does it customization require?
Yeah, it's very easy to get on board. It's about 30 minutes, and you know how to use the software, and you're on board. It's no customization. However, the user can customize it himself, and he'll learn how to do this. You can say that it's compared to other software, this is not only made for the engineer or for the GIS or for specialized people. It's made for the whole team. Very user-friendly, so it's that's why it's very fast to learn.
Mm-hmm. And Harald, the tool also incorporates a function to assess PV degradation, which we found really interesting. Maybe you can say something about this function.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you exactly mean, but you can degrade. evaluate. Oh yeah, we have a special data layers about how different panels are degrading in different places of the world. Because that's often a topic not used in many evaluations, because it depends on the wind, the temperature variations during the year. So we have a special layer for that. And I think we are the only one in the world who has this kind of data.
Maybe another question, more from an investor, obviously, who likes to invest into growing companies that also can grow revenues. How do you grow with your customers? I would assume it's a business SaaS model, but please explain a bit more what your revenue model is. How can you then also grow with existing customers, your revenue line?
Yeah, we grow with our customers mainly in two ways. Or it's as you have said, it's a SaaS, normal SaaS model where you pay annual license, and we grow mainly in two ways: by adding more users into the software and in the organization, and also by adding more modules, more functionality that they like to use. For instance, we are now adding the energy storage module, where they can also include into the users.
Mm-hmm. Any last questions, Matthias?
Yeah, I have one final question that goes more maybe to the cost side, not sure. So does your platform require external data you need to source? And then if yes, where would you get it from? And how would you keep it updated? And how much of this is a cost factor for your business model?
Yeah, we do have some data. We have a lot of data into the platform. Most of it is public or available, or we create our own based on satellite data. But we also have some data that we purchase, and we update this data automatically. You can say, for instance, the grid data in Spain, we update every hour if there is some availability. We have a very good data engineering team who has produced this system. Yeah.
Great. Well, Harald, thank you so much for your time. I know you are actually going to get back to your Christmas dinner with your team, so please go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate you coming on Roundtables Europe. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for letting me present.
Good on you. Thanks. We have a chance to welcome Lorenzo Jourdain. He is the CCO of NOMAD Solar. NOMAD Solar designs and develops mobile solar generators for each and every sector and industry, which is a big claim. Looking forward to hearing more about this from you, Lorenzo. Please take it away. Yep. Okay, it sounds like we are missing the sound from Lorenzo. Lorenzo, are you on mute? Can we unmute you? Do we have your connection? No, we're not hearing you yet. Okay, I think we'll jump ahead and we'll come back to Lorenzo. So let's jump ahead to who was going to be our final speaker, but now is our third. So Lennard Wilkening, he is the CEO and co-founder of Suena. Suena offers 100% digital flexibility trading for large-scale battery storage. Lennard, welcome, and take it away. Let's hope we can hear you.
Thanks, and yeah, great to be here. I hope you can hear me very well.
All good, thank you.
All good, perfect. Yeah, then I will directly jump into my presentation. Yeah, perfect. One back. So yeah, as you just said, we offer advanced optimization and trading services for large-scale batteries and renewable energies. And yeah, just to kick it off, I mean, it's clearer than ever that we need a lot of battery storage to enable the energy transition. But we have to keep in mind that managing them intelligently makes it actually happen. And at the moment, if we look at battery projects, we see a lot of issues coming up And this is mostly that there's a lot of missing expertise still in the market. It's a very new market, of course, but this leads to project delays, increasing costs of the battery project. And the business case is quite complex. It's quite different to, for example, renewable energy business cases. And therefore, this leads to bad financing conditions and high equity shares, high interest rates. And most important, battery trading is often very, very inefficient still, because also how to trade a battery is very, very different to trading other energy technologies so far. This altogether puts a battery project at risk. And that's why we offer like a full solution for our customers, which includes a very swift route to market process. So we take care that 6 months before commercial operation, that everything runs smoothly, that on the date of commercial operation, the battery can go fully into the trading with ancillary services, everything connected. We support a lot on finding the optimal financing and commercial strategy. We support with revenue simulations to underline or support in discussing this with the banks, and we also offer different commercial models to get better financing conditions. And most important, we offer very efficient multi-market trading across all relevant markets to increase the revenues, and this creates a very successful battery project. And I will dive a bit deeper into this. So actually, we call our offer trading as a service, which is fully digital power trading and asset optimization to maximize value of batteries and renewables. This is all based on our energy trading autopilot, which combines efficient multi-market optimization to actually optimize across 8 markets in Germany, which is the FCR market, an AFR capacity market, a Picasso market, day-ahead auction, 3 times the intraday auction now, and the continuous intraday trading. So you can see it's quite of a complexity to trade on all these markets, but this is very, very much needed for batteries. We combine this with advanced battery modeling to always also predict degradation, efficiency losses, to best predict at the end the performance of the battery into the future. And on top of this, we have very fast algorithmic trading strategies to always stay ahead of the market, which creates a lot of value in the continuous intraday through so-called virtual cycling of the battery. And we do offer this for standalone batteries, but also for co-located batteries with renewables. So we have solar plus storage in our portfolio, and we will have from beginning of next year also wind plus storage in our portfolio, which we think we are the first one to actually combine this. And we act as a full route to market provider. So we have our own market access on the EPEX. We offer balancing group management, pre-qualification for the ancillary services. But we also offer a solution mostly for utilities with their own market access. It calls the trading integration, that they can use our energy trading autopilot to optimize their batteries. And so just shortly look into how this works. So we have our autopilot, it's a multi-market optimizer. We have our own forecast from suena analytics. We automatically dispatching to the energy assets, controlling them and getting their feedback. We have our dashboard, and then we do fully automated bidding into all markets. So the whole process is fully automated and therefore much, much more efficient, because we have to work with millions of data points every day. And this leads to a revenue stack based on the revenues from all these different markets. Why we do so? Because we can see, if we look at the trading income of last year, that multi-market trading outperformed, for example, single market trading, which is only FCR, by 147%, which is a lot, and also more like simple multi-market strategies by almost 100%. So this multi-market trading really creates a lot of value for the battery asset. And so we are seeing here 220,000 for a 2-hour system. This would lead to a payback period of 3 to 4 years for the battery project, making it a very attractive business case. And yeah, shortly about us, we're a team with a strong expertise in battery optimization, data science, and algorithmic power trading. We have more than 60 European customers and 300 megawatt of assets under management, which is mostly standalone co-located, and the innovation tender. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lennard. We really appreciate it. And we will turn to our expert panel yet again. Matthias, we're going to start with you, as you have just a small caveat here that we
exactly. So first of all, hi Lennard, good to see you. Just for transparency, I know Lennard for quite a while. As Vireo Ventures, we have invested into Suena a couple of years ago. Just wanted to get this in the room. So
thank you for that. Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's transparency. Lennard, maybe a general question on the market developments and then also on your business model. Do you see certain market trends or regulatory trends that will actually help to advance growth of your business or actually hinder growth? How would you look the current situation there from a market perspective and a regulatory environment?
Yes, of course, there are some topics. On one side, on the large-scale front-to-meter storage side, it's an exemption of grid fees, which ends in 2029, and we're still waiting for like an unlimited exemption of this grid fees, which is of course very important. If we would pay grid fees for charging the battery, the business case for wholesale trading would be very, very low. So this would give more security for the investors, of course, which is quite important. On the other side, we also see and it's only a German word for it, it's a Baukostenzuschuss. You have to pay when you connect the battery to the grid for charging, for the load factor. And even there, this is still in the debate and not decided yet how this will actually, if the asset owner should pay the Baukostenzuschuss or not. So this is a very important topic to be solved soon to increase more the security for the investment. And so these are, I think, two very important things. Maybe to add one thing on the other side, on the more C&I side, so behind the meter is a problem that you cannot exempt the batteries from grid fees. So it will be very helpful that there will be also a solution that even C&I can combine multi-market trading with like self-consumption or peak shaving topics. This would, of course, accelerate a lot the deployment of batteries.
Lennard, my question is about the clients, the kind of clients you have. I imagine most of them are operators of large batteries or large portfolios. Is there a minimum size, a minimum threshold that you would suggest clients to come to you?
Yes, mostly, it's we also take batteries like around 1 megawatt size, so it's a minimum size. The problem is that there is still overhead in trading, a fixed overhead per asset. And so for smaller assets, it's at the end less profitable. And therefore, we would say it becomes very interesting from 1 megawatt or higher. And we know some are even starting with 5 megawatt, but we have a very lean concept behind. So how we do the whole trading operations, and therefore we even have some batteries below 1 megawatt, but usually we start with 1 megawatt or 1.25 because then we can pre-qualificate them for ancillary services.
Maybe, Lennard, another question I was kind of asking myself is, factoring in battery health, I mean, how do the two, battery health and trading optimization, go together? Go they hand in hand, or would you need to prioritize one over the other at certain instances?
Yeah, at the moment, so we also modeling the battery degradation or the state of health, as you would call it. But actually, at the moment, it's mostly a discussion with the trading, with the battery integrators. So because they are giving a performance or warranty guarantee to the asset owner, and this guarantees a degradation over time. And also there are some limitations, and of course included, like how much cycles you can use the battery, or a day, or over the whole year. And this has a very strong impact, of course, on the trading side. So if we can only use the battery one cycle a day, it's very different to have a flexibility to sometimes use the battery 3 cycles a day, but overall, in average for the year, it's just 1.5 cycles per day. But in summer, there are some days where we definitely want to use the battery more than 2 cycles a day. So therefore, what we're actually doing at the moment, that we often start discussing with our customer, the asset owner together, and the grid, the battery integrator, what is the best warranty design for the battery for this business case.
Excellent. Lennard, that is our time. So thank you so much for your presentation and for answering our questions, and really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we are going to try and go back to Lorenzo Jourdain. He is from NOMAD Solar. NOMAD Solar designs and develops mobile solar generators for every sector and industry. So let's see if we can welcome Lorenzo. There he is.
Hello, Tristan.
I hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Oh, good,
yes?
mate. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, first of all, good evening, everybody. Thanking you, Tristan, for this interview, and PV Magazine for having us, all the team. Excuse my English. We're located in Spain, but I think I'm getting better at English. Well, I'd like to represent NOMAD in this interview and talk about what we do. We have a simple concept. We make renewable energy accessible, flexible, and mobile, regardless of the time or the location. Okay, so our if I can go by, yeah, our offer, our product. Sorry, the slides are a little slow. So our product embodies our mission. It is a plug and play solution with 10-feet container and 20-feet container. It gives up to 43 kilowatt peak in the 10-foot container, and 107 kilowatts in the 20-foot container. And we have some key benefits that have been really interesting for our clients. Okay, so our first key benefit is the mobility and the agility of the NOMAD. Okay, so with a deployment under 2 hours, 1 hour and a half when people are used to it, we can deploy in any surface, an on-grid model, a hybrid model, or an off-grid model. Okay, so we can connect to the grid. We can connect to a battery. We can connect to a generator, maybe to the generator and the battery, and the generator will lose the protagonism for our clients. No, so the mobility and the agility, it's a key question for us. But we are a sustainable option. But we are not only a sustainable option, we're also a tangible financial benefit for our clients. In a case in Sevilla, we have plugged the NOMAD to a diesel generator, Pramac, and we are doing the public testings now in 2 months for everyone, because we've installed a lot in our clients, but we thought that we didn't do an event for everybody. So now we're going to do an event that I'll pass you if you're interested. So we in this case in Sevilla, we saved up to 128 euros of diesel per day, translating to 50k euros a year. This gives a return of investment of less than 3 years in this case. And we've seen less than 2 years without counting the maintenance of these diesel groups and the logistics of the diesel. So we are very interesting money-wise, because auto-consumption in the energy market, it can be more or less efficiency. I think 6 to 8 years are good, but we are fighting against diesel, so it's even more economically viable. In another way, we in that case in Sevilla we saved 101 tons of CO2. And the other key point is that the durability of the NOMAD. We build these containers from the ground. We don't take the containers of the sea and we remake them. No, we build them from the ground. We build them really solid, thinking in the rental purpose, thinking in deploying and redeploying it as many times as you want, as many times of our clients want. Our markets, as you can see there, is industrial self-consumption, where regularization, the law is really interesting, because we don't have construct permit, and temporary concessions for obvious reasons, defense and humanitarian, agriculture. The irrigators have water pumps that maybe a farmer has 10 or 12 water pumps, so he can move the NOMAD. We're big in mines. We're doing a lot of mines in Chile, and events and shows are also in early steps. But we know that it's going to be a market for us. So here I leave you with a little video of us. I can tell you about our situation right now. We just raised the 8th of August. We raised 50 million euro from French fund, Tilt Capital. And we're here. We have grown big. We started little small. We were a team of 8 like a year ago, and now we're 28. So 20 people went in this year, just here, not in the manufacturing side. And we are with a big client. We are the manufacturer of Atlas Copco. At the start, we were hidden behind him and making these units for them in their colors, in their. But now we are showing ourselves a little bit to the world with a lot of other clients as well. So I think the video shows you pretty well the product. We need to do a little bit more of media content for ourselves, because Atlas already did it, but we're going to do it for ourselves now.
Thank you so much, and nice to see the video there of the actual systems rolling out. Emiliano, to you.
Yeah, my question for Lorenzo would be about the scalability of the system. We have seen in the video that you can put many of the systems one after the other to create a little power plant. Which is the limit?
I don't think there is a limit. I think it's going to be harder for the engineers. Not my problem. but I think that they can plug in without limit. It's going to change maybe the size of the EMS, energy management system, and size of the batteries, if there is batteries, but I don't think there is a limit, or the grid limits, or not our limits in any case.
Matthias. Lorenzo, some questions from my side. Speaking of limits, looking at the technology, wouldn't there be some limits in terms of energy security and use cases for your clients? Because you said you're going to want to replace diesel. At the same time, assuming the sun is not shining, it's getting darker, then obviously there's no energy. So wouldn't that limit the use case? Question number 1, but then also 2, to what extent would it make sense to apply, and put a battery in the system right away to kind of tackle that limitation?
Yes, these are really good questions. Indeed, the NOMAD is thought. We're not magicians. We cannot make sun where there is no sun. But you have these two solutions. We want to replace the diesel generators, but not just now. We want to accompany them a lot of time. It means we can connect to these diesel generators because the diesel generator is cheap when you buy it, but really expensive in diesel per year. So what you're going to win with us, there is the return of investment, is don't use that fuel that is expensive, use the sun fuel that is free. So in that sense, we can combine with these diesel generators. And yes, indeed, the battery we recommend, because it's greener, and you can obviously, well, I know up there you have less sun than here in Spain, but you can put over dimension it, I don't know how to say it in English, and put a big battery for the times that where the sun is not shining. Or it depends of the judgment of the client and how sustainable he wants to be. Or you can put just one NOMAD and a little generator and a battery, and in any case you have the security of the generator. So, but if you use it in a security way, just when there is not sun, you're going to make his life so much longer, his maintenance so much lower, and the diesel consumption so much lower. And it's going to be economically really good for you and for the planet as well, because CO2 will not be emitted with those, in these terms that we propose.
Lorenzo, you mentioned durability. Of course, you use conventional solar modules or eventually special solar modules in these installations. Is there any mechanical stress to which they could be exposed? In the end, it's maybe deploying and redeploying may cause some stress. Have you assessed this kind of issue?
Yes, we have done these stress tests, and the NOMAD properly used has really no issues, like the solidity of the structure, and a system that makes the panels, I don't know how to say it in English, amortiguar. It means that in between the panels and our structure, there is a system that makes them really more comfortable inside, and don't have this these micro breaks that maybe they can have, but if you use it in the normal terms, you won't have these problems. If you use it, if you're a farmer and you're not using it as properly as you should, maybe a panel is going to break, but we're just going to send you another one and you're going to change it. It's not going to be really expensive, so it shouldn't, or you can change it yourself. I mean, we sell the car, and if a wheel breaks, you can change the wheel. So it is really solid, but it is not magic, of course.
Okay, Lorenzo, that was an enjoyable presentation. So thank you so much for your time from NOMAD Solar. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. So that brings us to audience voting time. The audience out there, you watching, you are deciding the winner on the day. So in our platform that you are logged into, you should be seeing a poll pop up. You should be seeing a survey. And please cast your votes for the 4 startups that appeared today. And as those votes come in, expert panel, we need to give the audience a minute or two here. Matthias, I want to go to you. We saw 3 software companies and 1 hardware company there at the end. Is this the normal balance that you're seeing as startups? Is this the ratio that you're seeing?
I would say the answer probably is yes and no. I mean, given the fact that we are an early stage investor and in the venture capital world, investors here tend to prefer more software-oriented business cases over pure hardware business cases, because they tend to have a longer sales cycles, they tend to have longer development cycles. Obviously, as a fund, you need to return money to your investors at some point, which is why early stage investors have a preference for software business models that can include a piece of hardware, of course. So I would say what we see is often software. At the same time, we're in the energy world. Obviously, we can't solve our energy challenges with software only. So it requires hardware. So again, also there's a number of good hardware startups out there.
We just heard that NOMAD Solar had raised 15 million euros, I believe Lorenzo said. Do those hardware startups need more funding to get somewhere? And is that sort of difficult for a fund like yours to be able to say, oh, we actually have to allocate a large proportion of capital here?
I think in the climate space, energy space, we do see quite an uptick in interest from investors, also from more broad or agnostic impact investors that kind of trickle down to early stage energy. So I think if you're like a founder out there, thinking about starting a company, I think it's a good time now.
Yeah, excellent. And Emiliano, we watched 4 presentations. The audience has to compare the hardware and the software, but the software is across development, batteries, and trading. How do you compare and contrast these when you're thinking about them in your head, when you're trying to decide, oh yeah, this one looks a bit promising, this one is also promising?
This one is going to be a difficult one. Yeah, I think the vote for the listener may depend if they operate a battery or a PV plant. So sometimes it's also about the audience that we have. But still, when it's very important when we judge and we try to evaluate a startup, of course, we first evaluate its technology, but then we also have to think about the structure, the business model, the stuff. And that's what we did with these companies. And in this case, it's also very difficult to make a choice because they're all very, very good startups. They have very good stuff. Even the way they communicate with the clients and with potential clients is good. So we have just, it's going to be a tough decision. I really don't know who is going to win. So that's
got you.
That's my call.
All right, I'm going to try and cue now the voting to end. And Emiliano, as we come to the decision here, someone's going to write on a piece of sign and hold it up. So we're going to see that in a second. But Emiliano, when news comes in to PV Magazine and you see these varieties of companies come in, can you give anyone some insight into, oh yeah, the hardware is always going to work well? People are always interested in this, or is it also the software across the full range as well?
I think what's really important for startups is communication. Sometimes they have a very good technology, but they're totally unable to, especially young companies, young people, they don't know how to communicate, to present their technology. And that's key. That's really also one of the most important aspects they should consider. They should present the technology in a clear way, and of course, not only the advantages, sometimes even to be able to say, look, we still have these issues, but we will try to fix it. That's also very important. And that's what we liked also with the startup. They were quite open about their products.
They were, and thanks for that. I think that gives people an insight into how to pitch to PV Magazine to get some coverage. So that's wonderful. Now, I have been given the card, and I'm being told the winner is NOMAD. So, Lorenzo, Jourdain, well done on your presentation there at the end. Well done for getting through the technical difficulties. So, congratulations. We look forward to featuring you in PV Magazine, both online and in our print magazine. So, look forward to that in the coming issues. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, thank you. And from my side also, a huge congratulations to NOMAD for actually winning that startup lightning pitch.
Yeah, that was fun. So thanks to everyone for joining us at this big Roundtables Europe 2024. It's been an insightful day across so many topics. I hope you've kept up. Thank you to our expert speakers, our analysts, the industry insiders, everyone, plus our judges here today, the startups, of course, and to you, our dear audience. Thank you for judging. And as well, thank you to our editors and moderators who put together the program and took it with all our experts, so all our other colleagues as well in the back, the team behind the cameras here who we're looking at, everyone who made this event possible. Frederica.
For sure. And last but not least, we also want to thank our partners for this event. You see them behind us, but also soon in front of us. Huasan, Huawei, Jinko Solar, Longi, Shoals, Tongwei, and Trina Solar, as well as our gold partners. Thank you again for being part of these Roundtable Europe 2024 and sharing your expertise with us today. For our next European event, keep your eyes open. We will host another in-person conference, PV Magazine Focus, at the biggest European show, Intersolar Europe, in May. So keep an eye open for the registration. Last time, or this year, actually, the room was bursting, right, Tristan?
It was corralling a cast of thousands. So. Exactly.
But before that, if you're keen to join us again, we are hosting another event in Saudi Arabia in February, our Sunrise Arabia. The conference will explore the growth and challenges of the Saudi Arabian solar PV sector. And that's actually it from us. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.